Welcome to Mrs. Peach Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. Today is hashtag Artisan Journal Prompt 2024. This is hosted by our good friend Patty at Life with Patty. You can go over and check and see what everybody else posts in this awesome collaboration today. And you can stay tuned and see what I've posted. Week 34, the prompt was woodland animals. And I thought, what in the world am I going to post for that week? And then I thought, I have a picture on my wall that I took with my camera. Actually, I did not take the picture. Let me give you a little background. We was camping up in one of our favorite spots, Caribou. That's where my husband was campground host for a few seasons. And we was all sitting there at the beach part. It wasn't not a big beach, just a little cove that, a few people could get their blankets and their chairs on. And we had a group of people that we camped with. And one day we was looking across, and there was a bear right across the waters from us. And I had my camera with me that day, and I was going to take a picture, and it started heading up a little bit further up and get a good shot. And one of the girls, I want to say her name was Ashley, she said, I can run up there and take the picture for you. So she went and she took my camera and ran up there and took the picture. And of course, then I had a picture. And then I had it blown up. It's not the best picture in the world, but it's a picture of a bear that we saw while we were camping across. And it wasn't a big river. The kids always swam across it on the other side all the time. Anyway, that's my picture. Then I included just some pictures that I found in the magazines of different animals that lived in the woods. Here is my page. You see at the top, I wrote, taken at Caribou on our camping trip, as I've already told you. And at the bottom, I put woodland animals. That's the name Patty gave us a prompt for, week 34. Here is my bear, the bear we saw across the river at Caribou. Are the animals. We saw squirrels while we were up camping many times. Actually, I'm seeing a few in my neighborhood, which I have never seen till recently. Now, over in some parts of town, little maybe 5-10 miles away from me, I see squirrels from time to time, more often than here. But I saw one squirrel while we were camping that was dragging empty peanut butter jar the lid was open, dragging it across the space. We could watch it. That would have been a great one on camera, but that was before my days of doing videos very much. And rabbits. I didn't see any camping, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. From time to time, we've saw deer at different places that would come across from our camp. I don't know that I can tell you that I ever saw a raccoon, but maybe I did. But I think they're cute dressed up. Sometimes, I see people that dress them up. That's silly, but I've seen them and thought, oh, how cute. A woodchuck. And I don't know that I've ever saw one of them either. But these are animals that lived in the woods, so I included them in this little video. So here it is. And that is my Artisan Journal page, prompt 2024, week 34. We are back on our president today. I thought that we would include our 32nd president, Franklin D. Roosevelt. And this is what it says about him in this little, remember, it's very condensed. He was elected president for 4 terms in a row. In parentheses, it says that won't happen again because the law now limits presidents to 2 terms in office. President Roosevelt skillfully guided the country through the Great Depression and most of the way through World War II. He inspired Americans with his fireside chats, telling them that we had nothing to fear but fear itself. It makes a lot of sense so many times. He began Social Security, and he made new rules for banks, helped out the farmers, and created new programs to put people back to work. Roosevelt died shortly after World War II ended. He was born January 30th, 1882 in New York, and he served the 4 terms from 1933 to 1945. That's the year I was born. First vice president was John Garner for the first and second terms, Henry Wallace for the 3rd term, and Harry Truman for the 4th term. Here's a picture in this other one. This one is much more complicated when I read it, and I wrote a few notes down because it can get a little involved. It said he was handsome, and he went to Groton, Harvard, and Columbia Law. He married his 6th cousin. That was very distant. She was a niece to Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt gave her away at their wedding. He was stricken with polio, and in time he regained the use of his legs. He worked very closely with Churchill at the World War II. There was a lot more in there, but it's kind of complicated the way they write it. And I wanted this to be real interesting and more like facts. You can go online and find all kinds of information. This next one is about his wife. And here's a picture. She was born in October 11th, 1884 in New York. She was Dutch and English. She had 6 children, 5 boys and 1 girl. She was 48 at the time of the inauguration. She was First Lady the whole 4 terms, 1933 to 1945. And the cause of death was aplastic. That's the way it's like plastic, but with the A in front of it, and anemia. As a child, she felt like she was very homely and awkward. She adored her father, but he banished from the family because of his drinking. By the time Eleanor was 10, both her parents had died, and she was sent to live with her very strict maternal grandmother. Eleanor was a very shy young girl, unhappy and full of insecurity and self-doubt. Boy, that's sad. At 15, Eleanor was sent to finishing school in England, and there she was nurtured and gained the confidence that she needed. Upon her return home, she began working with the poor people in the slums of New York. On March 17, 1905, she married her distant cousin. I already said that. Franklin D. Rosen. Eleanor gave birth to 6 children in the next 11 years, 1 who died in infancy. I had a phone call. I hope I remember where I was. My husband was elected to the Senate in New York, and then she was introduced to politics. Then in 1921, her husband got polio, and that's when her real politics began. She became the eyes and the ears of her husband. She was very active in women's voters and the trade union and the women's division of the Democratic Party. She learned to speak in public and write political, and traveled and lectured extensively. And she had her own radio program and a newspaper column. Became a major voice in her husband's administration for working to reform racial minorities and the poor. Those liberal causes made her the most controversial and most admired First Lady in history. More important, she developed the First Lady into a powerful and respected position. After her husband's death, she still continued in the political life. She was appointed to the U.S. delegation of the United Nations by Truman and Kennedy. She was chairman of the United Nations National Human Rights and Commission and a goodwill ambassador abroad. Eleanor Roosevelt was tireless and influential advocate of human rights. And I want to thank you, Carol at Crinkle Path, for providing us this book. I appreciate it. My fan that I have is from my friend Laura. I want to let them always know that I appreciate it. And my little Dollar Tree book. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed that. And I pray God will bless you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I see a squirrel in my yard as we're talking about it. I don't think that the first time I ever seen one on the ground, I seen one on a fence before. Okay, I veered away from the subject, but that was in my subject today of the animals. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you special. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. Give somebody a smile today. I'm going to go out and do that. Bless you.